Grand Rising, y'all. Just wanted to share a few of my um, thoughts about the current climate um, all over the world. And as I've mentioned many times before, there is definitely distractions of every sort being thrown at us. And again, this is all done for a reason. To keep us distracted, to keep us in inner turmoil, so that we do not focus on what's really important. I kind of want to talk about the hot spots here in the United States, mainly with the immigration roundup that's happening in Minnesota. There is something significant about this situation. Now, when the first person was unalived, there's a lot of controversy about this person being unalived without just cause. And depending on which broadcast you listen to, there's definitely a split happening. Some report this poor woman, mom, was just there peacefully protesting, and she was unalived by vicious, horrible agents. But then others are saying it was not that way at all. This person was there protesting along with her wife. They weren't there to just peacefully demonstrate. They were there to cause disruption, chaos, diversion. And granted, people have the right to protest according to their beliefs and their feelings. I totally get that. We all have free will. But she put herself in a very dangerous situation. These were armed officers attempting to execute their jobs. They were blocking traffic, blowing whistles, and being extremely disrespectful to the officer as well. Go back and look at the different videos. They weren't saying have a nice day. And, even when she said, I'm not mad at you. We all know what that, I'm not mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, it was like that. And obviously I'm giving my perception of what I saw. And what transpired according to my interpretation of what I saw on different angles. When they were trying to get her to get out of the car, what she did is she probably panicked. And you could hear in the background her wife saying, either drive, baby, drive, or go, baby, go. as the officers are screaming at her, "Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car." At that point, she was being detained, and by law, she has to stop. Now, do I think that this woman intentionally tried to unalive any of the officers? From looking at the video, it's very clear that she was turning her wheel away from the officers and accelerating away from the officers, even when the other officer pulled in front of her. And actually, if I remember correctly, she turned the wheel, and as she was accelerating, going that direction, the officer stepped in front of her. Stepped in front of her. And I think with the momentum of her already going that direction and the officers just stepping directly into her, she probably bumped him with the car. And again, I don't think she meant to do that. I don't think that she meant to harm. She was actually trying to get away. However, she was evading at that point and egged on by her wife. I think this was this was a misjudgment, perhaps, on the officers. Obviously, misjudge the situation. However, how would you have reacted in that situation? And also, the same officer was drugged, I want to say a couple of weeks prior to this, or maybe a month or so, I don't know, but a year, I don't remember exactly when. But he had a very similar circumstance happen with him to where he was actually drugged by a vehicle. So I can understand that whole PTSD thing, and he reacted to potential danger for him. So it was a judgment call, definitely, for this officer. I don't know him, but just watching the situation, do I think that he meant to kill this woman? No, he just wanted her to stop. And after she bumped him with the car, it triggered him and he shot. Tragic circumstance. Tragic circumstance. And who should bear a lot of responsibility for this? And I would say Governor Walz. He went on camera many times and actually coaxed, encouraged, incited people to protest. Go there, get your cameras out, get in their faces. While these officers are trying to do their jobs. Now, are some illegal immigrants being scooped up that are non-violent? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Some are being scooped up that are non-violent. But I do believe the main focus is to get the bad guys out. And I totally agree with that. Get the bad guys out of here. But again, this is my opinion. If you came in this country illegally, there's been some conflicting information. Some people say it's a misdemeanor. Some people say it's a felony. But you made the conscious decision to come over here knowing there was a high probability of you being deported. But you came anyway. You took that risk. My own personal opinion, I don't think there should be borders at all. If you are a human being, this earth belongs to all of us. So I don't think there should be any borders. However, we don't live in that reality right now. So, what I think is definitely happening, guys, is By any means necessary, they are trying to pit the nation against each other. They're coaxing a civil war. It's very, very clear. And then the latest thing, too, about Christian rights. And I remember growing up in the Jehovah's Witness faith, we were taught that there's going to come a time that the government is going to turn against all religion, but mainly Christianity, to bring in this new world order with one government, one ruler, or maybe a council of rulers. I'm not sure about that. But one government and everybody serving or worshiping or being controlled by either one person or a council of some. But according to Jehovah's Witnesses, they were saying that there's going to come a time where they're going to crack down on all religion, and then the last one standing that will refuse to forego their religious beliefs or whatever, or to denounce Jehovah. And then a lot, according to the way I was taught, a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses will suffer persecution. A lot of them will be martyred for the name of Jehovah. And as the government goes against Jehovah's people, then Jehovah's coming and kicks them behind. Don't touch my people. Don't touch the apple of my eye. And it's so funny because now of all the research that I've done, digging, a lot of other religions think the same thing. The Mormons think they're the chosen religion. The Hebrew Israelites think they're the chosen people. Mormons, Seventh-day Adventists, all types of different religions think they are the chosen religion as their God is coming. Again, turmoil, chaos, distractions. From what? From the truth of who and what we are. And I know I say this every time, we are sovereign, free spirit beings. Stay focused on the internal, which is eternal. This stuff that's going on around us is all a facade. A big giant movie screen. Truman Show. Matrix, whatever you want to call it. And I keep saying this because that's what keeps coming to me, y'all. The distractions are going to come hotter and heavier as we get further into this year. We are definitely living in some very interesting times. And I think again about different Bible scriptures and different ancient spiritual books and text and scripts And again, they all speak about basically the same thing. This is a time of awakening. So this is just another message to everyone out there. Yes, we can kind of pay attention pay attention to what's happening around us, but with the eye of understanding of what's really going on. We can watch the show with popcorn, but don't get your emotions all involved in this mess and pashigity that's happening, because it is a ploy to disrupt that connection. We have awakened, y'all. Don't go back to sleep. We are frequency holders. We are frequency holders. Christ is not coming on a cloud. The Christ consciousness is already here within us. We just have to connect with that inner Christos, that spark of divinity that we all have within us. So again, watch the show. Be aware of what's happening. But never forget who and what you are. Yeah. And I did a video, 2 videos actually yesterday, because the snow just looks really, really odd to me. It's not behaving like snow, I think, should behave. The texture is off. It's the way it melts is odd. I did 2 experiments last night, one with butane lighter to see if the ice would melt. It didn't melt. However, it just seemed to burn. And there was no dripping of water as it heated up. Then someone mentioned in the comments that they had a meteorologist laugh and kind of, poo-poo people with this test thing. It's the butane. It's the chemical process in the butane and the gases or whatever. When it gets to the snow, it causes that reaction. So there's nothing wrong with the snow. You people are crazy. So I said, let me try a different experiment. So I got a cardboard, you call that, the tube for the paper towel holder, and I lit the paper towel holder and did the same experiment with a piece of snow, kind of compressed a little bit, and did that experiment again. Same results. This time no butane, just fire and paper. The same thing happened. And then my kind of fire went kind of a little bit out of control. I said, let me get this out of here. So I threw it outside. And when it landed on the snow, it didn't go out. It continued to burn on the snow. And as the paper curled up as it burned, there was no burn marks, no indentation under the flame. And it continued to burn, and as it got to the end of the paper towel, it flashed again, and then it went out. That was very odd to me. So take a look at that. Some weird stuff. Don't y'all eat that snow. Something is wrong with it. And actually, Trump said something at Davos. And he said something about the little floaty particles being sprayed in the sky. Yeah. And matter of fact, a couple of days, I think the day before, that Friday, before the storm was supposed to hit, that Saturday and Sunday, I heard a loud explosion, like boom, to where it shook the cabin, It shook the front cabin, and it shook my daughter's cabin too. What was that? So I was thinking, well, maybe it was a sonic boom. Maybe it was they fracking under the ground. But then other people across the nation started describing hearing a boom, but just before the boom, like a flash of light. Phew, boom. Watched a couple of other videos, and oh, beautiful woodpecker. Oh, I wish I could, it's gone now. I think that's my spirit animal, woodpecker. But a lot of people were reporting hearing that flash of light and the boom all over the United States. A lot of people reported the skies being very, very clear, and they're spraying heavy something in the air, and then before long you saw long strips of thick white cloud. Anyway, I was watching a couple of other informative videos, scientific stuff, and meteorologists and different things, and they're saying, across the board, they're saying something is going on. And what they're doing is they're spraying different heavy metals and different chemicals to cause these differences. They're modifying the weather. And in that book 1984, Orwell stated that that's some of the stuff that we see at this time as well. So anyway, again, all of this stuff is planned. And also, old Billy Boy, yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. Bill. I think what may be on the horizon is another pandemic. Possibly some type of bioengineered something embedded in the clouds. So when it rains or snows or there's any type of precipitation, it's rained down everywhere on everyone. And if you don't get it in your skin, it's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the soil. They're determined to do whatever there is they're trying to do. So, again, we can take every precaution, as much precautions as we can. Don't be stupid. But also understand that we are powerful beings. Everything begins with a thought. Everything begins with a thought. So in our minds, manifest health, wellness, protection. Any weapon that they form against us, block it, baby, block it, block it, block it, block it. And we can. Yes, we can, and we will, and we are. We're doing it. We're sovereign, free, spirit beings. We have the spark of divinity within us. And again, it is eternal. You can't touch this, baby. Anyway, stay warm, stay focused, stay grounded. Keep your vibrations high. And I'll talk to you guys later.